thank you all, and thank you for dedicating your time. We've got a really, really exciting session for you today. We have a fantastic panel, but it's also about your engagement. You're giving up your time to attend. We're providing you with a great deal of information, and we've got some exciting things to share with you. But it is about you. So if you do have any questions at any time throughout the session, please do pop them in the Q&A box in the bottom. We're going to use the chat like you are from where for the little things that you're popping in there as to your locations. We'll also obviously have some assets to send in there as well. So use the chat for those purposes, but your Q&A for your questions that we'll get to. And we'll have a dedicated session at the end for the questions that you pose as well. Just quickly on to the next slide as a way of introduction. About the University of Cambridge Professional and Continuing Education and FourthRev. It's important that we frame that for you firstly, because we very much value the collaboration. So Cambridge PACE has collaborated with FourthRev to develop co-designed career accelerators to help address the shortage of high demand technology and technology adjacent roles, such as data science with machine learning and AI. Launched in 2023, the Data Science Career Accelerator blends academic rigor with real-world application. I'm going to touch on that a great deal shortly. Connecting learners to employer design projects in a practical sense from organisations such as the Bank of England, Nelson Databook, Inchcape Study Group, Pure Gym, and many, many others as well. It's a very unique offering in the Career Accelerator model, and one that we're going to demonstrate some inspiring outcomes that it has achieved for learners as well. On to the next slide. The session will be 1 hour. However, stay with us for the end, not only for the Q&A, but there is a special offer for those in attendance as well that I'm most excited to use this platform in which to launch. I will also stick around longer if there are specific questions, and also walk through an application if you'd like me to do so. At the end of the event, we'll give you that first access to an enrolment benefit available for a strictly limited amount of people and time, but is very valuable for you. As I've said, use the Q&A function. We'll respond to as many as we can, or I'll stick around for some overflow. Summary slides and a recording of the session will be available following, but also reach out to us directly via the email there, or via your enrolment advisor should you have any further questions, and I'll make myself available as well. Now it gives me great pleasure to welcome our panel for today, and I'll start with Dr. Ali Al-Shabazz. As always, it gives me great pleasure. Thank you, Dr. Ali, for your time and attendance. Kate and Paranzem, I'll introduce you now as well. But Dr. Ali, for the audience benefit, we all know you so well, but for the audience benefit, is there an opportunity to introduce yourself, please?
Thank you, Daniel. Thanks for the time. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Ali Shehbaz. I'm academic director of the digital skills courses at the PACE. PACE is as Daniel said, it's the Professional and Continuous Education. It's the institute within the University of Cambridge, where the course delivered, the Data Science Career Accelerator course being delivered in collaboration with FourthRev. Looking forward to your questions, and for the slides, we have many things to share with you. And also look for any discussion. I'm happy to answer them today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ali. Paranzem and Kate, welcome. You came on first, Paranzem, so welcome. It gives me great pleasure to introduce you to the audience. If you'd like to give a little bit of background, which is extensive, I know, but that would help the audience. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you. I'm Paranzem. I'm from Armenia. I'm currently lead data analyst and just started my position a few days ago at one of Armenian leading companies that is US-based and publicly traded company, Service Titan. I'm also teaching statistics and understanding data at American University of Armenia. Previously, I was leading data analytics team at one of Armenian banks. That's my background. Thank you.
And you've completed the Career Accelerator?
Yes, I've just graduated and I already published my certificate on LinkedIn and got so many congratulations.
And rightly so. We congratulate you and we celebrate not only your completion, but your new career step as well. Kate, thank you ever so kindly for your time. Welcome.
Hi, yes, I'm Kate McDermott. I'm a director at Omnis Partners. We are a specialist AI recruitment consultancy, and I have nearly 20 years experience across the data and AI recruitment landscape. This is, I think, my third or fourth webinar with FourthRev. Really excited to be involved to support the University of Cambridge and their Accelerator.
And we very much appreciate your support. As the audience can tell, we've got an amazing panel, one that you should all be leaning on to find out as much information as you can. We've got a really exciting session ahead. So let's get into things, because we are going to be, I know we're going to be short of time, but I'll work towards it finishing at the right time. And as I said earlier, I will stick around to assist anyone. So let's, here's our roadmap first. We'll pinpoint why skilled data practitioners often stall in their careers, then provide a solution to you to implement in your career our 3-pillar leadership framework. During the AI pitch exercise that we're going to do, for those who wish to, you can post a 60-second AI pitch in the chat and the function that we'll have, and we'll review a few live, which we're most excited about. We'll then finish off with an overview of the Cambridge-based Data Science Career Accelerator, and our panel will share real-world insights as we go and answer your questions directly from the Q&A. So let's dive in, starting with the plateau diagnosis. Let's take a moment to name some common challenges experienced by mid-career data professionals. If you're looking to advance your career, obviously we're speaking to you. And if you're looking to transition your career into data science, this is still valuable, as is the Career Accelerator in helping you achieve that. But take it as though you're in your data science role and you're technically strong. You may build models, automate reporting, add value through data. But when it comes to stepping into leadership roles or influencing direction from a business context, progress can sometimes feel less certain. From conversations with our alumni and learners, we've heard a few patterns emerge. First, many haven't had the opportunity to deploy model end-to-end in a live environment, which can limit confidence and credibility when applying for that next step or those more senior roles. Second, communicating technical work in business terms is a common hurdle. It's not about simplifying, it's about translating insights into decisions that stakeholders can act on, with urgency at times, but with impact all times. And finally, the pathway to senior roles is rarely visible. Without mentorship or cross-functional exposure, it can be difficult to know how to position yourself for advancement. So that's exactly why we've developed a leadership framework to help practitioners close those gaps and prepare to lead, not just deliver. Let's hear from our panel about these career trends. Dr. Ali, first of all, from your experience working with learners and our industry partners, where do you see the biggest gaps between what technical data professionals can do and what today's organisations actually need from data leaders?
Thank you very much, DC. That's really excellent questions. Before we start the course, we had an exercise with you, with FourthRev and Cambridge. We have interviewed tens of CEOs in the industry. Ask them these questions: what are the skills gaps in the industry? Most of the answers were that we don't have a problem with the technical skills. We have a problem with people with a technical background, but they don't know how to translate that technical in terms of the data, insightful information to business for the benefit of the business. So combining these two skills was the gap. Now this course address this gap, and very careful. And for that reason, we have this partnership with FourthRev. We have, as a student, and the pathway, and over 7 months, you will have the experience from the best of the both worlds, from the academia, Cambridge, and from industry. Well, FourthRev can help you to do that by using industry mentors. We have career coach. We have engagement with the people from the industry, guest lecturer, of course, plus the academic from Cambridge. So that was the gap. Is there are lack of people which they have technical background, plus they can translate these technical background from the data existing and to a business for the benefit of the business. Because at the end of the day, the CEOs, they are not interested in which machine learning you are going to use, which tools, which programming language. They need from you options to address a problem and address a solution for the business. And that is what this course actually does.
Couldn't have said it better. You're exactly right. That industry engagement piece was critical in designing education for career outcome benefit. You know, as you articulated so well, the academic rigor that Cambridge is globally renowned for, and the industry input that enables learners to demonstrate that to prospective or current employers for their career benefit. Just on to the next slide. To move from hands-on practitioner to strategic leader, data professionals need more than strong technical skills, as we've just mentioned. We've identified 3 core capabilities that define successful data leaders today. Technical mastery. This goes beyond model building and production-ready deployment, cloud-based workflows, and emerging tools like MLOps and generative AI. And kind of goes without saying in a way, but then second, the strategic alignment. Great leaders connect data work to business value, exactly as Dr. Ali just said. Whether that's revenue forecasting, efficiency, or risk reduction, they frame projects in terms stakeholders and understand, sometimes customers as well, obviously. Third, stakeholder engagement. This is a really important one. So the best model means little if no one acts on it. Communicating insights clearly and driving adoption is what moves the needle in a business context as well. Paranzem, you've seen both sides, educating aspiring data scientists and leading teams in industry. Looking back at your own career journey, which leadership or communication skills have made the biggest difference in helping you influence decisions, not just deliver technical work?
Yeah, sure. So at the beginning of my career, I really thought that everything is about technical skills. You need to do a great job, create best dashboards, then best models, etc. Then I understood that many of these dashboards or the models just stay on shelves, so to say, because you deliver them, they are perfect. You spend lots of time doing lots of analysis, but in the end, they prove not to be used. So what's very important in leading team and also making value for your stakeholders is being able to understand first the business. I think that's the most important thing. When you understand what are the pain points, you communicate a lot with your stakeholders, understand what they want to change, how you can help them with your data, then start doing all these technical calculations. And your team also need to be prepared to talk a lot, because some of this technical work, people sometimes think it's only about calculations, writing codes and delivering results, but it's not about that. It's only like 30% of the work. The remaining 70% is really understanding the pain point, the problem, and then discussing the results with stakeholders, coming back, adjusting your calculations, and then going and discussing more. So it's back and forth communication, and you need to be ready for that. When you understand it and you are ready, you prepared yourself and your team, then business and your team will win, I think.
I love it. That's fantastic. Thank you ever so kindly. And Kate, over to you. As someone who hires for senior data roles, what shifts are you seeing in what organisations expect from data professionals today, especially around communication and leadership?
I mean, I echo what Dr. Ali said earlier. I think that the shift has been happening for quite a long time, but this importance that's placed on the ability to translate the technical complexities of work that's being done into business impact is key, and that is the differentiator. People that can demonstrate and showcase how they've navigated change and transformation within a business and supported that with technical work And value creation is a phrase that we have really seen come to the forefront of the market, commonly used, typically used within private equity and investment banking markets. But we have seen a cultural shift within a lot of the large enterprise organizations that I work with in commercial industries towards trying to build a culture around the use of data, and this term value creation has become extremely common. So really placing an importance on the ability of technical teams to drive revenue or save money effectively with the work that they're doing. There's a huge commercial focus. So I think for leaders, whether you're a manager, head of, director, I'm seeing that it's more and more common these days that there is a need to remain technically hands-on and in the weeds of the work that your teams are doing, because there's such a dramatic shift happening in the market at the moment with the adoption of AI. I've never seen anything like it in 20 years. I'm sure most people would say the same. And so I think there is a real focus back to hands-on leadership. The role of the CDO has been in question, I think, for the last 2 years. So these very senior, hands-off, purely strategic leadership roles are less common. And we are finding we're taking briefs for extremely senior profiles, but there is a real need to understand modern technology, data science, and AI, and how that translates into business value. So for any leadership hires or for any senior leaders that I'm talking to, my advice is make sure you are absolutely up to date technically with what's required, and I think courses like this, really help people perhaps to plug back into that kind of that way of working.
That's a fascinating trend and great insights for the audience, no matter where you are on your data journey, to have these as a goalpost to work towards as well. And I'll touch on how the coaching throughout the program will assist with that as well, is invaluable for you to launch the next stage of your career, whatever that may be. So, most excited now to move on to the next little activity. I think this is going to assist many people. So one of the core skills that data leaders need today is the ability to communicate the value of their work clearly, quickly, and in business terms, as we've just discussed. So let's put that into practice quickly. We're going to give you a simple pitch framework that you can use to position any AI initiative you've been working on or have a visual on or dreaming about in a way that makes impact obvious. So the pitch template, you'll use this 4-part structure to shape your pitch. The problem, what's a real business pain or challenge? Insight, what does the data reveal about it? Solution, what's your AI or data science idea? Impact, what's the projected value or outcome? Take a minute. Let's just go over this now so I get this 100% right. Hang on 1 second. I'll just go on my other screen. We're going to ask you, there's an example in the chat. So an example of this would be high customer churn costing £2 million annually. Insight, 30% of high value users disengage after 3 months. The solution may be build a churn prediction model with targeted retention campaigns. Impact, reduce churn by under 15%, £300,000 revenue saved annually. There's a quick idea of the pitch that you'll be able to do. We'll give you the tools in which to do this now, I guess, Sam, when we bring that up. So you can do this 2 ways. You can either scan the QR code on your phone, or you can join at slido.com and then read out the code that is on the screen now. So we'll give people a couple of moments to do that, definitely. So just a reminder, you can either scan that QR code or you can join at slido.com and you'll use that code 7813199. We're going to pick a few that we'll read out and have a look at and give you some feedback on. So take a minute to write your pitch in the Slido that will pop up. You can use bullet points or that short paragraph as you follow that structure of problem, insight, solution, and impact. Feel free to be creative, but try and keep it focused, just 4 to 6 lines at the most. We'll pick a few examples to read out and reflect on as a group. While our audience is going through that process, I guess Kate, as hiring manager, would an example such as that, or the process such as this, catch your eye on a candidate's CV or portfolio project, for example?
Absolutely. The problem with most CVs is it's a high level overview and there aren't specifics about, an example project where a solution was architected or designed, built, and delivered, and what the business impact was. It's a very traditional way of framing the work that you've done or answering a question in an interview. I always recommend using the STAR approach, and it's important to build that structure into your CV or even into your actual interview. What really makes the CV stand out for me, particularly in the current market, which is red hot in AI and agentic AI specifically, is I want to see evidence that people have ideally end to end built a proof of concept and taken it into production. So it's such a new part of the market that there's a very limited talent pool. But if you can find the opportunity to do this kind of work where you're involved in the deployment, because quite often the life cycle, the process of building and deploying a model, or in this case particularly, we're talking about agentic AI systems, there are one or two teams that might take ownership of various parts of the process, but there's real value and benefit if you can demonstrate that you can do the end-to-end work. So 100%, if you can give me tangible examples on a CV or in a conversation or in an actual interview, that will make you stand out from the crowd.
It's a critical piece, demonstrating that value, but speaking to the data, as you've mentioned. It's brilliant. We're seeing some come through, and we've got another couple of moments. So before we get to looking at some of the examples from the audience, Paranzem, you work with students yourself in an academic setting as well as industry, as we mentioned earlier. What do you notice helps learners build confidence in articulating their data work clearly and, I guess, persuasively?
Yeah, sure. So when I'm teaching, I will start from the teaching part. When I'm teaching, typically at the beginning, students, they concentrate on technical calculations. They are building great presentations, etc. That is very technical. Like this shows there is a statistical significant difference here and here, and they are delivering these presentations. But in the end, when I ask them, could you please explain in simple words, what's this changing, how you are improving something, or what you are proving, it's a challenging for them. So this is why we are doing lots of hands-on experience during learning to deliver their speech or calculations in a way that everyone can understand, because this is how reality is, right? In business, with my analyst team, both in university or in bank or in my current company, we are trying to communicate with people with different backgrounds. And
Yes.
yeah, and you need to be able to deliver your calculations, the technical stuff in human way, right? So to be able to explain. And when you are building a model here, it's even difficult because typically the results, the process, it's hard to explain, especially the complicated models, right? Sometimes they are just black box, but stakeholders are asking you, let's say in bank, we got a lot of questions, why the model is deciding to deny this customer's loan, and for the similar other person it is confirming, let's say. So it's very challenging question. You need to be able and be prepared to answer this kind of questions. So yeah, here's the challenge. And this is on which my team and also my students, we are trying to work on.
Brilliant, and good to hear that, obviously, and good to see it in practice as well. So good on those, and I still see some more coming through, but good on those that have had or given it a go in terms of identifying the problem, providing insight, the solution, and then the impact. Let's go through a couple now if we can. I'm just going to make my extra screen a little larger if I can. So number one was, let's see here, how we go here. Deploy an AI-powered virtual assistant that answers billing queries, self-service, reduce call analysis shows incoming calls are simple billing questions that could be resolved without a human agent. Quite a common challenge. Deploy. So when we look at the process of the problem, the insight, the solution, I guess we've jumped to there, was deploy an AI-powered virtual assistant that answers billing queries, self-service, and then the impact is reduce call volume, cut average wait times to under 5 minutes, and improve customer satisfaction scores. Dr. Ali, Paranzem, Kate, any feedback on that one in particular, the first one that we're looking at? I've got a thought, but I'd prefer to ask the experts. How is that positioned? Do you feel it's meeting the problem, insight, solution, impact process?
Well, yeah, let me just answer this question. It's first of all, it's good to use the AI, LLM, any platform helping you making a decision and addressing the problem. But if as an expert in certain area, I use my experience to judge on any model. So, for example, I'm working in the cybersecurity area, in the data science, engineering, but I'm not expert in banking or marketing. So my experience in understanding the data or AI is not useful for outside of my comfort zone. So that's where the human element is important. So, for example, in that call center, 20 minutes, it's good start to deploy the virtual assistant. That's absolutely all the call centers now. I have a request from people to create virtual assistants on that and reducing. It's a good start and it's a good experience for you as a. But at the end of the day, you are a human with a certain experience, and this is the value added to the data science. Well, the data science, whatever tools you're gonna learn in this course, is going to help you as a person who are expert in certain area. I can see one of the questions is a person with a long experience in finance and accountant, and you are the expert in the area. You're gonna learn skills from this course about choosing the right model for the certain data. But at the end of the day, it's your comfort zone, and you are the human which make a decision, and we are helping you to show you what are the existing tools on an AI model available, and it's your choice to have the right one. So, for example, that one is it's about the market crash in sudden market crash we have, and then what is the other solution. It's good exercise. It's well done. Whoever suggested this, that, and then give you an exposure about what kind of solution we will have. But at the end of the day, it's the human experience added value, not the AI. Thank you.
Brilliant, thank you. And we'll in the interest of time, we'll keep going with another couple, if that's okay. So here, Anonymous has said, problem, our organisation wants to reduce the number of three puts of its members, three putts. I love this because I am a golfer as well. Insight members are crap at putting, so they've put put 9 of 18 holes on average. Impact membership triples through confidence. We'll go to the next one. I love the golf analogy. And it's an important one for those looking to reduce their handicaps as well. So here's, as in terms of a pitch, remember, problem, insight, solution, and impact. So predicting how cost of feed and price of final product dictate the best quality to manufacture at that time, which is, well, the insight is feedstock prices, energy prices, final product sale price. And then obviously we've got the solution being the predictive model to advise ramp up or decrease in production according to the data that is provided. And the impact, maximize production profit based on a change in market. That sums it up for me in terms of an AI pitch. Kate or Paranzem, anything you'd like to say regarding that one in particular?
I think just a general comment. Obviously, I couldn't pass comment from a technical perspective, but the way you frame the work on a CV or in an interview, I think is important. It's great to obviously talk through the problem, the solution that you designed, and then how you delivered that. But for me, it is being able to articulate the business impact and how you actually then embedded the model within the business or drove the solution. How did you gain engagement? It's the kind of end part of that process that I think really needs to stand out on a CV or in an interview. If you're articulating that, you can assume that people will assume. So if you talk about, I saved X amount or delivered, revenue generation of X amount through embedding a particular type of model or a solution into the business. This involved, building or gaining the engagement of C-suite. It's kind of the context around the business impact and the ripple effects of that and your individual contribution, because 9 times out of 10 you're working amongst a team to kind of build these solutions and deploy them. So understanding the kind of foundation of how you then get to that impact is really important. But for me, when your CV is being run through an ATS or an internal talent person or someone like myself is reviewing it, the kind of language that will stand out is it should be impactful. It should resonate with the audience. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to be looking for somebody that is really focused on the end result. So that's my 2 pennies worth from a non-technical perspective.
Brilliant, and thank you. And I've got a question for you regarding this one and the last one that we saw, but I'll ask Paranzem if you've got any insights into the pitches at the moment. It's not so much the in-depth aspects, but the pitch aspect of it.
Yeah, I will just add that when you are setting together a pitch, I guess it needs to be a bit more specific. Like writing down in a very general way, you may not sell your pitch. So it should say that, let's say, I'm predicting exactly this. This is my problem, which should be very specifically defined. And then what your solution is again and how much it is decreasing. Of course, in a pitch like this, it's very difficult to quantify, but if it's possible, it's great.
Exactly. And for the intent of this exercise, everyone's done a fantastic job in positioning exactly what it was that we were seeking. My feedback for everyone, all the ones that I've seen so far, actually, what I'll do quickly, I'll go back to the example that we provided. So the problem, high customer churn costing $2 million annually. Insight, 30% of high value users disengage after 3 months. Solution is build a churn prediction model with targeted retention campaigns. And impact, reduce churn by 15% or more, resulting in £300,000 of revenue saved annually. What I've seen missing from here, and we don't expect it to be exact, we don't expect it to be an actual scenario. This was a pitch exercise. What's missing here is the numbers, the specifics that Paranzem just mentioned, and the numbers that were in the example. So when we do a pitch, or when you're in a position to do a pitch, whether it be on your resume, as Kate mentioned in an interview, the numbers matter, the exact numbers, and demonstrating the value or the impact there as well. Sam, do we want to keep going with that, or do we want to move on? I think I'll actually move on. I'll make that decision. Thank you all for engaging in that exercise. Hopefully it's given you something to think about in terms of your positioning of an AI pitch in future context as well. So we will move on to the actual programming. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I'll give you an overview of the program. We're going to ask the panel questions, but then we're going to very quickly get to your questions. Don't forget, pop your questions in the Q&A we'll get to them as quickly as possible. We mentioned it earlier, but it's really important to reinforce that the Career Accelerator blends academic rigour with practical application and real business case scenarios. So you'll gain hands-on skills, build a professional portfolio that is demonstrable to employers, and collaborate with leading organisations. This isn't just about learning advanced data science, technical data science skills. It's certainly a very technical program, but it's also understanding how to use that data to drive decision-making in real business. Employers help shape the course, as we've mentioned, to ensure that every graduate has exactly the skills that need to accelerate their career, funnily enough. So let me just check where I'm at. Sorry about that. So as you can see on there, there's an employer project. The employer project culminates the first 3 courses of learning. You go through 3 courses of practical learning in that you'll submit up to 20 mini and major projects along the way that form part of not only your assessment, but your portfolio. And then learners are grouped together in teams and meet with one of our employer partners during course 4, the employer project. You'll meet with an employer partner and they'll present to you a real data related scenario or challenge within their organisation. And as a team, through the implementation of the skills obtained in those first 3 courses, you'll come up collaboratively with innovative and tangible solutions to that scenario, presenting your recommendations back to the client in a consultancy style presentation, which is so advantageous for job seekers and career advancers. It is practical application of learning in the real world. It is also a brilliant networking opportunity, both to network more deeply with your inspiring peer group, but also leaders of industry. And Kate, I'm sure, can attest to, it's a much more powerful demonstration of your value to a prospective employer to demonstrate the real experience that you've had in the industry than it would be to ever recite an exam result, for example. I've got a question for Dr. Ali. One of the things that stands out in this program is the focus on, and as we've touched on, both the technical rigour and business impact. Could you share how the curriculum develops not just those skills, but a real leadership readiness as well?
Thank you, DC, for the question. Yeah, I did, as I mentioned earlier, when we did the market research, we talked to CEOs and we found out what are the skills required. And then we found out when we designed the curriculum, the student, they have to learn the technical side and the business side as well. So for the technical side, we have four courses. The first one, the student, they will come to learn about the basic of the advance of statistics. And this module is to make sure that to make sure that all the learners, they will be on the same ground. So some of the learners, they feel this is easy for them, especially if they are already from technical background. But some of them, they found these are challenges. And then how can we help them to learn about the business side? There are assessments. So we call them mini projects. There are 2 mini projects in the first course, and probably Paranzem, she can share her experience on that. They learn about the business side and they apply the technical side on a data, which is a real case example. And we ask them to write a report and code and apply whatever they learn in terms of the statistics model for the unsupervised learning. The second course is about supervised learning, machine learning. And also there is at the end of this course, there is an assignment and we provide them data, raw data, and we ask them questions about how can you develop. And also I would like to ask Paranzem to share that experience. The third one, it's a longer course, which is the hardest one in my opinion, where we teach them the NLP, natural language processing, and the time series analysis. Also, all the assignment is based on the real case study data sets. The final one is the employer project with Bank of England and other company. That's different. It's a group project working together to satisfy certain requirements based also on the real data sets. So through that journey, they learn not only the technical side, the academic side, but the business side. How can they communicate the business problem through the skills they have learned through the technical side, which is the machine learning. And so that is in a nutshell what we are. Meanwhile, they have these one-to-one career coaching mentorship. They have the industry mentors in addition to the academic, Cambridge academic, which they are covering. They cover the technical side of it. Thank you.
Wonderful overview, and I'll dive a little deeper as well. But as you can see on the screen, the employer project and all of that learning along the way helps that technical mastery around those pillars that we mentioned earlier. The one-on-one career coaching and mentorship I'm going to dive much deeper into, the strategic alignment, advanced AI and MLOps modules, again, the technical mastery, and then communication workshops, storytelling with data, boardroom presentations, the presentation in the employee project. Annual peer interactions are all designed around that stakeholder engagement that is critical. A couple more questions before we get to the audience Q&A and the offer that I've got, and a reminder I'll stick around for anyone else. But I wanted to ask directly of someone that's experienced the program, Paranzem, what part of the program experience, whether it's the employer project, the industry or coaching mentorship or advanced data science skills, helped you feel most prepared to take on more leadership responsibilities?
Yeah, thank you. This was really a high dimensional learning, I would say, because I didn't even, before beginning the course, imagine that I'm going to do so many different and useful stuff. First, I liked very much the industry mentors part because honestly, these sessions were very late for my Armenia time. They were starting 11 p.m., but I never fell asleep and I was participating them after work. They were so interesting and so much real world related. And they helped me, many of them, in the end, to make decisions about some stuff that I was doing in reality in my workplace. I even in bank replicated one of the similar stuff that was presented during one of the sessions. And working with real data sets after each module and writing reports on the finding were very important. And it was also very useful that we had word limits, structure limits. So you are learning also to work more professionally, deliver more professionally, because in reality, also in real workplace, you cannot deliver 200 pages of reports. You need to be very short, and deliver real results and useful results, right? It was very important. And the reading material that was posted weekly, these were very useful. Just for future learners, I would recommend you to set up every week some fixed time for yourself, switch off everything, open your laptops, the reading material, and read the whole material. You will learn a lot. And when you learn and when you practice, you also participate in lectures, because there are many questions when you do readings and when you discuss with the lecturers and they answer the questions, and you can also have separate one-on-one meetings with lecturers. All these are very useful. So you are learning a lot. And one of the most important parts that I liked a lot about this course is having an opportunity to work with your peers, because many of the participants in this course are coming with great experience and strong background. They are managers, they have lots of work experiences in different spheres, and they bring lots of their input to the course. Especially the project with Bank of England, I learned a lot, not only from doing the project, writing the codes, etc., but I learned a lot how others are thinking about the same problem. They were raising questions that I even didn't think about. So it's great experience to learn from professionals from different parts of the world, and also who have a great experience themselves. Even if they don't have technical background, their other background creates lots of important input to the course itself, and also the questions that they were posting on FourthRev were great. So I even just scrolling, reading the answers and the questions, I was learning already from that. So it's really well organized, and so many dimensions that you can learn. You just need to allocate time and do all these activities. If you do, you'll learn a lot at the end.
Spot on, and thank you ever so kindly. I'm very conscious of time, but I do want to ask Kate a very important question. Obviously, you've seen a lot of candidates come through with technical qualifications. What do you think makes this program, or a program like the Career Accelerator, stand out from a hiring perspective?
Well, I think obviously the credibility of the university name is important. It catch your eye on anybody's CV, and if that complements, continuous learning elsewhere or a solid foundation in education, then it really adds a lot of value just purely on that basis, being very honest. But then I think if you're going to be positioning this course on a CV or again in an interview, I think as you referenced earlier, Daniel, just having an exam result doesn't quite paint the same picture as a real world example of how you've applied your learning. And that is the key thing. It's all about application. Again, whether we're talking about data science or AI, it's the application of the theory, and as an individual, how you then took that further, delivered business impact, changed a process, whatever it might be. So I always encourage people with continuous learning and self-learning. It also demonstrates behavioural attributes that we're often looking for, which is people that are proactive, people that are interested in learning, have that intellectual curiosity, want to invest in themselves, and therefore translate that into the companies that they're working for. It's all of these layers that we are looking at when we're assessing candidates are key, and it could make the difference between you and the person next to you in that kind of CV queue. So but yeah, as I said, I think that the combination of the applied learning, the partnerships with the commercial companies that you're going to be working on real world projects is really important.
Fantastic, thank you. Okay, I've got a bit to get through. Just a reminder, I'm going to stick around for everyone, but on the next slide, I just want to give some very high level overviews of the program, then we're going to get to the questions. So the course runs, and someone's asked, how long is the course? The course is 7 months of learning, about 8 months with breaks included. So between each of the courses, there is a week's reflection. There is a 3-week break for the festive period and a week break in the middle of course 3, because it's an 8-week course, and I think you could certainly use that for your benefit, obviously, to refresh and start off the end of the program really, really strong. It is a commitment. There is sacrifice to be made. It is intensive. 20 hours per week, but designed to fit in with you more so than you fitting in with a traditional university timetable. There is a blend of synchronous and asynchronous learning, meaning that you have live sessions with the Cambridge academics, one during a lunchtime, say on a Tuesday, one during an evening on a Thursday, one as an overview and one as a Q&A. But the rest of the learning then is asynchronous, meaning that you can choose when and how it fits in with your other life responsibilities. Most of our learners are working full time, but let's not, pretend that it's not a commitment. There is sacrifices to be made to take you from where you are to where you want to be in that 7-month period. There is a great deal to squeeze into that time frame. The entry criteria is that you've completed a bachelor degree, as this is aimed at postgraduate level education, that you've completed a bachelor's degree with a minimum of a unit of quantitative studies and have a year of data-related experience, a role in which you've been exposed to data. It doesn't have to be a data science role, of course, but a role exposed to presenting or manipulating or querying data, that will certainly get you in. If you're not sure, we have a really, really passionate team of enrolment advisors that will help you. Please book a time there in the chat as well. The course commences on the 27th of October and placements are limited. The fees for the program are £8,395 or there is a fee reduction of £500 if you pay up front. We also have interest-free payment plans to make that more accessible for learners as well. Again, speak to your enrolment advisor. I just want to touch on two other quick things, and sorry I haven't got to the Q&A quicker. The career coaching aspect of the Career Accelerator is the next most valuable thing after the learning outcomes. It is 12 months of personalised one-on-one executive style coaching built into the program. They'll help you not only land your new role or promotion, paid project or agreed other outcome within the 12 months. If not, we'll extend your coaching for another 6 months until you do. This is invaluable. This is worth thousands of pounds. If you were to hire a career coach for a one-on-one session each month, it would be very expensive. They're going to help you highlight your transferable skills, of which everybody has, alongside your new data science and machine learning AI skills. And for the next 30, the only 30 that apply as an exclusive offer for this webinar, apply and pay your deposit by the 26th of September or until the 30 placements have been exhausted. You'll get an executive data pitch clinic where you'll learn to craft, refine and deliver your AI or data project pitch with impact, like a much bigger extension of what we did earlier. Early access to alumni networking series. And the course obviously enables you to attend Cambridge Mattingley Hall behind us all there, which we love as well, and pre-start career coaching. So an additional 2 coaching sessions from the moment that you pay before the program begins. So it's an amazing amount of value we're packing into that, because our North Star metric as an organisation is your career outcome. Let's get into some of the questions, and I'm going to let the panel go at the top of the hour, but I'll continue to answer all of the questions as well. Raymond asks, when we talk about careers, can your courses help get into self-employment and also be of use in finance for political parties? Absolutely. It does, I think, position you brilliantly for that, Raymond, because of not only the technical, but the business application of the technical that we've discussed the whole way through. You'll be well positioned in consulting terms with those skills. So someone's concerned that they don't have a technical background. What can I do prior to the course to get up to speed? What we do provide learners with is access to 60 hours now of customized Python training. Once you apply, secure your placement via a deposit, we can give you that free Python training course. There's a short technical test to take at the end of that course, and suffice that you pass that, you'll meet the entry requirements along with what I mentioned earlier. So that's the best thing that you can do to bring yourself up to speed there. I'm going to get to another question here because before Kate goes especially, there was a specific question that I wanted to pose to yourself. How is the current job market for career changes in data science, and are there realistic pathways to internships or entry-level roles outside of a PhD or master's? I always tell our learners to elevate their look at the horizon a little more. I think the learning outcomes enable you to apply for jobs above that of an internship. But Kate, what are your thoughts on that question from one of the audience members?
Yeah, I'm probably better positioned to advise on experienced hires. I've never done graduate or apprenticeship recruitment, so I wouldn't want to pass comment on that. The current market is good and improving. We, as a business, and myself as an individual, I have really pivoted to look at the AI market. As you can imagine, that is, as I say, extremely hot at the moment. The market was very difficult for a couple of years, but with AI adoption, that has driven confidence and interest in hiring back into the market. And we have seen the applied data science part of the market come back to life. So I would say now is the time to start to think about your next job move if you've kind of stayed put for a couple of years because the market was tough. And now is the time, I think, to invest in self-learning, because I think we are going to continue to see rapid change and acceleration of hiring into the market, job moves, which obviously then drives the churn, and people looking to pivot or upskill because everybody wants to and probably needs to in the broader data market. They need to start to think about what AI means for them and their role. So there is a huge amount of change going on, but we are seeing more confidence in hiring, more confidence in people moving in the market. I think to answer that question specifically about the likelihood of being able to pivot or transition, let's say, from analytics into data science or data science into AI, it really depends on the kind of businesses that you're targeting and where you might want to work, because it varies so wildly from industry to industry. There is a lot of money going back into the startup and scale up market again. That's a risky part of the market to look at, but there is a lot of hiring going on in that space. And I think one thing that has changed, and I think we'll continue to see, is the average job life cycle has reduced again to probably 18 months and in some cases a year. So there is less stigmatism around moving more frequently in terms of, finding a new role. And I encourage people to strategically diversify their experience, especially if you're kind of mid-career. Go and work for a different business with different people and different data and different tool sets every year or two. It's not a bad thing if you do it strategically, and if the narrative is right. So I think, yes. I would look at it positively and say it is a good time to go and find somewhere new to go and learn, get that support. If you can find a business that offers you the opportunity to learn on the job because you're bringing really good foundational technical skills and good soft skills as well, that might be the reason that somebody hires you, and then you have the opportunity to kind of have that growth trajectory over the course of a year or two and build on your current skills and kind of curate a more modern or a different skill set.
I love it. Thank you ever so kindly. It shows the importance of networking too. When jobs are changing more frequently, the value of keeping those contacts, even if you were unsuccessful in a job application, as you've articulated, Kate. Raymond, I wanted to give this a lot more time. Good on you. We've had a recent learner outcome of someone of your level of experience, shall I put it, which is inspiring. So there is every opportunity, I think, for you to be a consultant, similar to the question we had from the audience earlier, but have a chat with your enrolment advisor. Happy to also organise those coaching sessions as to how to position yourself individually as well. Someone's asked about when looking to transition, what strategies or projects can help demonstrate our skills. Exactly what we've discussed the whole way through. In addition to that, for the person that's posted that question, outside of the Career Accelerator that we're obviously so passionate about, anything that you can do that is more than your competitor is doing to obtain that role is going to be beneficial. So I would suggest, be it volunteering. It could be the local church, it could be the local sporting group. If there is a data-related way in which you can apply AI or demonstrate that you've done something to help that organisation out from a charitable perspective, employers find that invaluable as well. And it might be something a little bit more than someone else has done for that role. Getting through some more. What are the most in-demand tools, programming languages, or platforms that employers expect aspiring data scientists to know today? Who would like to answer that one? Paranzem or Dr. Ali?
I can go ahead.
Please.
So what I think the most important tools currently are, first thing, Python, working with data extraction and data manipulation, basically knowing SQL is very important. Some data visualization tools if you want to concentrate more data analytics, not science itself, like Tableau, Power BI, or similar tools. In addition to Python and SQL, maybe some data engineering if you want also to do that part. And would be great if you also can do at least know some of the MLOps stuff, like deployment part.
Fantastic. We're at the top of the hour, and I said I'd let the panel go. I'm going to stick around and answer every one of these questions, and there's some fantastic course-related questions. And if the audience are willing, I'll walk through the application process as well. But I'd like to take this opportunity for those that can't stay longer. Dr. Ali, Kate, Paranzem, thank you ever so kindly for your input in this valuable session today. I'm sure the audience got as much out of it as I did, but we very much appreciate your insights, expertise, and time today as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolute pleasure. And for the rest of the audience, I'm going to continue. And as I said, my promise to you is that I'll answer all of the questions. So someone here has mentioned, I've got 15 years in localization and translation management, applying projects flexible enough. Are the projects flexible enough for me to apply NLP AI methods to multilingual content workflows? Second part of the question, do career coaches help learners position themselves for hybrid roles where industry expertise is as important as technical skills? Absolutely. You're going to love that aspect of the program, and I can't stress enough how valuable what we're offering in terms of the coaching is. So yes, we've got learners from all over the world, as Paranzem is testament to. And so there are many opportunities to look at local markets, but also you're the expert in that market more so than a career coach. But the career coach will give you the tools to to execute on the strategy that you outline with them at the beginning of the relationship you have with the coach. That's what it's all about. You define your career goal, they'll guide you towards the tools and the strategies to execute and achieve that without a doubt, and especially with so much coaching available. Derek, I know Derek. Hello, Derek. Thank you. Your continued interest and participation in these events is very, very valued. I apologise I didn't ask Dr. Ali about this, but I do know the answer. It's not a formalised pathway for graduates to scale their experience in another Cambridge degree, but with Dr. Ali in your corner, and as he was so delighted to see Paranzem in person at Mattingley Hall, remembered her from last March or whenever it was it was last March, and celebrated her achievement on LinkedIn. Anything that you can get is going to help a great deal with any application you have for Cambridge programs moving forward, without a doubt. Some people have requested references and been granted references from Dr. Ali, and you can imagine that would go a long, long way in your submission as well. So it's not a formal qualification, it's a certification from Cambridge, but on completion that would be held in high regard. Someone here has asked, regarding the employee project mentioned in the course, does it provide complete experience of an end-to-end data science project from definition to data preparation all the way? Yes, absolutely. Now they're all different, and we have different employers at different times contributing different projects. So I don't yet know who it will be that far in advance. We don't even know what the data challenge will be within an organisation this far out. But yes, it is an end-to-end, and it is also executed through usually both publicly and privately held data sets, which are huge data sets, as you can imagine. One recent one with the Bank of England was around analysing, using modern data science and AI techniques, the data that was available pre-2008 to determine how we can use modern techniques against a financial crash. And what data science would have shown ahead of the crash. And you can imagine the volume of data that the bank have at their disposal for that as well. Can you provide more details on the practical side of the course? I love this question. How many of the sessions are live and at what times of the day, and what does a 20-hour week look like? Excellent question. Thank you. Sorry you didn't put a name to it. I like to recognise people that ask questions. Here's what a week will look like. As a guide, this isn't hour for hour, day for day. I'm not sure what days the sessions will take place as yet. It depends on the academic availability from Cambridge. But you can usually expect this. Monday, you're working, you come home, you're excited, there's new content, you get into it, and you're realising that you're going to have some questions, and there's some real thought-provoking aspects as you click through the modules, as you watch the videos, and you've got yourself a list of what to achieve in the week. A couple of hours on a Monday evening. Tuesday lunchtime is the session with Dr. Alexia from Cambridge, where some of those questions that you had will be answered or become clear. You'll hear the other students engaging. You'll ask a question or two of yourself, and you'll get a renewed enthusiasm to attack the rest of the work for the week. So you go home that night and you'll knock over a few other hours of study. Wednesday comes around and it's been a tough day in the office. You get home and you've had a hearty dinner in winter, maybe even a bottle of wine, a glass of wine, and you don't feel like studying at all. The key here is that you show up. You get in front of your computer for 10 minutes and you say, all right, I'm going to give myself 10 minutes and I'm going to do what I can. And you look at it and it's all a blur and it's too much. And you sit down and you watch your series of Netflix with the wife or the husband, or you watch a show. That's fine. That is so much better than sitting there watching that Netflix show thinking I should have studied tonight. You may do that 10 minutes and find a new lease and do 2 hours, and that's fantastic. But unless you give yourself that 10 minutes to know, you'll have questions while you're lying on the couch. Sometimes it's hard. But anyway, Thursday then, evening, you get home from work and there's a Q&A session with Dr. Alexia again, where you'll dive deeper into the content, or she'll be taking you through the next layer of content. And that might also coincide with the fortnightly industry mentor sessions that Paranzem so highly spoke of so highly. So you've got some live events. Then Friday, an hour or two is all, and then you've got 2 big blocks on your weekends. You've told your family Saturday morning, Sunday morning is mum or dad's study time. I'm doing this for the benefit of the family and my career, which in turn will benefit the family through more money coming through the door. Please respect the fact that I'm going to be studying and locking myself away for 4 hours on a Saturday, 4 or 5 hours on a Sunday. And that's what a typical week would look like over and above your work. Now, some people also have employers that are supportive of their study time and give you a day to study or an afternoon, and everyone's different. Some people aren't working, they're taking career breaks to do the program, and they study 40, 50 hours a week, because the more you do, the more you'll get out of it. But that's what a typical week would look like. 2 live sessions, 2 or 3 live sessions, and 18 or so, 16 or so hours of your asynchronous learning. A lot of engagement on the platform with your peers, and also surprises. When I say surprises, additional value add propositions, such as our learners had 2 or 3 weeks ago, when Ernst & Young, one of the largest consulting firms in the world, asked to have a special session just with our data science learners about the future of AI and what they're looking for in employees currently. They want people that have done this course, and that's part of the benefit of it too. Sorry for the long-winded answer. I felt I owed everyone a question of an overview of what that looks like on a weekly basis. I'm looking, Lazio's asked, I'm looking to enroll, Laszlo, sorry, I'm looking to enroll as a part of my career change from accounts payable to data science. Understood the course would be suitable for such a person. Would this course work for me? I think so, absolutely. Sometimes, Laszlo, going from little experience to data scientist is a bit like going from nursing to surgery without being a doctor in between, and data analytics is sometimes that doctor role in between. So the best thing you can do is speak with your enrollment advisor. They'll give you every option of giving you and asking questions that help flush out what is best for you. And if it's not right for you, they'll tell you. If it is right for you, they'll encourage you to make the most of the opportunity with Cambridge and make that career transition as well. Getting back to, and someone's asked here, I think these 3 questions might be condensed, but did you say you have a financial promotion in offer to the additional reduced fee for upfront payment? No, there's not. Sam, can you go back a slide if you can? This is the promotion for 30 people only, and there's still 30 in attendance now. So this is the package. So there is a £500 fee reduction for people that pay upfront. Others have payment plans, and there's a question regarding payment plans that I'll come back to. But for 30 people, there is a data leader launch pad. So you get executive data pitch clinic, as I said, early access to alumni networking series. Our alumni do meet twice. Our learners do have the opportunity of going to Mattingley Hall to meet Dr. Ali and all the learners twice during the program. Start connecting before your own graduation. And the peer group is amazing. And then pre-start coaching. So there's 2 coaching sessions available between now and the commencement of the program to help you start to visualize your goals, help with the coach to identify what they may be, and starting that relationship of trust that the coaches have with all of the learners to help you achieve your intended outcome. So I hope that made that clear for you. Daniel's asked, do you think the tuition fee will be the same for February intake? I don't know. if I don't know the answer, I've got to say I don't know. I know there is discussion around what that might look like in 2026, but there has been no decision made. Daniel, I'm not 100% sure. It hasn't gone up since we started, so it's probably due, but I wouldn't know if it's January or later in the year. I apologise, Daniel. Someone's asked, is this program online or required in person? It's 100% online. However, there are events that we host both formally at Mattingley Hall, which is a beautiful place behind me there, but also informally in that learners seem to desire that organic in-person connection. So there'll be meetups potentially in London, or if there's a group of people in South Asia, they might have a different time in which they catch up virtually, or students have organised that themselves as well. So there's no mandatory in-person requirements. Everything's online, but there are benefits to obviously catching up with people. Joseph, I mentioned the 60-hour preparation course for those without prior analytical skills. How do you get that course? Joseph, you apply, you speak to your enrolment advisor if you haven't already, you apply, you get a placement reserved with a 10% deposit, and then we give you that 60-hour Python program for free. It's a custom built for this actual career accelerator to give you the Python skills that you need to make a successful commencement in the program, rather than start the course and wanting to learn Python. We'll get you up to speed prior, so you hit the ground day one learning data science and machine learning rather than learning the basics of Python. Can I talk more about flexible payment plans and how long we can finance for? Certainly. We offer 6 or 9 month payment plans without any interest or application. And then we do, for those that need a longer payment plan, we do have a finance provider in StepX that does provide 24-month terms. There is a finance application and a small application, £20 application fee with that. All of the payment plans come with a 10% deposit requirement, but none of the payment plans, including that StepX one, have interest associated with them. So 6, not upfront, is with a £500 fee reduction. 6 or 9 month payment plans, no interest, no application. 24-month plan, finance application, and £20 application fee. No interest. Hope that helps. Laszlo's got a couple here. What kind of employers need data science? What is the success rate in getting employment for PACE graduates? So good questions, Laszlo. And you've also asked here, are both SQL and Python part of the course? Python is the backbone of machine learning. It's what is in most demand, and it is the cornerstone of this entire program. In terms of what employers need data science, most sectors, almost all sectors, I can't think of any that aren't really going through digital transformation in some way, shape, or form. I thought of medical, but that's heavily impacted by the digital transformation. So Laszlo, small, medium, and large enterprise are all going through digital transformation. Depending on the organisation, whether they need a dedicated data scientist and AI practitioner, more and more do. As Kate mentioned, she's at the pointy end of recruiting people for data science and AI roles. It's booming. She is inundated with employers seeking the skills that this program provides. So I can't say what type of employer, all types of employers are, but it's about you positioning yourself to be that person to make that impact that the business is looking for. In terms of the success rate of graduates from the PACE program, there's only been 2 that have graduated so far. The others are in the cycle of learning thus far. We do know, though, our Career Accelerator model overall provides 87.5% career success rate for those that undertake the full coaching offer that is available to learners. And that's part of the reason why we listened to our learners and extended the coaching offer. Traditionally, we used to offer it just during the 7-month course. You'd have 7 coaching sessions, but it's often a case where you want to immerse yourself in the learning first and then look for jobs thereafter. So we extended it by 6 months to make sure that you've got that support when you need it most. Now, if you don't have a job at the end of that 12 months, basically, you'll get another 6 months of coaching to ensure that you obtain your intended career outcome as well. A couple more questions, and I've gone well over time, but I so much appreciate all of your engagement. My absolute pleasure regarding what a week looks like. Sorry, I slipped up and said the bottle of wine, not the glass of wine, but each to their own. But that does look like a typical one. Good on you, Daniel. If I tell you what, Daniel, get your application, speak to your enrollment advisor, get your application in and pay your deposit. The price won't go up for you. It'll only go up once it's advertised. That's the best way to get around that issue. So the best thing that you can you can do there, a tipple of gin, as you've mentioned there, or my favourite, which is a Scotch, but also this might frighten some people, but an Australian whiskey as well, as they're getting world renowned as well. It will always help me study. Thank you all. Sorry for that I've gone over time, but I hope it was for your benefit. If you have any questions at all, what I suggest you do is book a time with your enrollment advisor and submit your application. Book a time with your enrollment advisor and submit your application. The application only requires your certification of your previous studies, if required, or your LinkedIn profile, rather than a CV and an identity document. We'll look after the rest. If you need Python, we will assist with that. But the most important thing to lock in one of those 30 placements that are available is to submit your application and talk to your enrollment advisor. So do it in that order. Get your application in. I expect to see them in by tomorrow. When I log on, I'll be fast tracking those that have applied as a result of the webinar and reserving one of those 30 placements for the additional application incentive that I've outlined. Thank you to my guests. Thank you for Sam in the background that works so diligently to produce these webinars, and thank you to you first and foremost for your attendance and your time. It's about taking the next step. It's about committing to yourself and starting to feel like and picture what the future looks like with these types of highly in-demand skills under your belt, and a great deal of support enabling you to achieve what it is that you dream about. Our success is your success. We celebrate our learner outcomes, but we look forward to welcoming, supporting, and celebrating your success in the Career Accelerator. Thank you all and have a great day.